Hey everyone! Welcome everyone! This is Viperstrike 95 here, and today, happy Wednesday everyone! Here today, we're here at George W. Bush International H.W. Bush International Airport outside of Houston, Texas, and today we are here for a very special stream and a very special flight. Make sure you all get ready to pack your fast jets today, because this would be one heck of a blast off, if you know what I mean. So, everyone, good to see everyone here. So, let's go over for today's flight plan, shall we? We actually have to go back to our little nav map. So, we'll take off here from George Bush Intercontinental Houston International. Fly across here, we might blitz, we might just take a quick visit over to downtown Houston if we really wanted to. Once we do that, we will then be visiting then we visit the Johnson Space Center of Houston. Then we're gonna fly 265 nautical miles through the Bayou of Louisiana, and we'll make our first stop here at New Orleans Naval Air Station in New Orleans. Then once we do that, we'll fly from New Orleans. We'll be visiting the NASA Macau Assembly Plant Facility. Then we'll visit Stennis Space Center, located in Mississippi, not far outside of Gulfport. Then we'll travel 296 nautical miles all the way to Huntsville, Alabama, and we'll be visiting the Redstone Rocket Test Site and the U.S. Space Rocket Center in Huntsville, and we make our second stop at the old Redstone Army Airfield. And finally, for the last leg of the trip, this will be by far our longest leg. We'll be traveling over 470 nautical miles to Cape Canaveral. We'll be visiting the Kennedy Space Center, the Kennedy Space Center visitors, and finally Patrick Air Force Base. We'll be landing at Patrick Air Force Base, which is the main air base for the United States Space Force. So we'll be doing that, and that will complete our flight plan for today. Now, have you guys grabbed your fast jets? So the fast jet I'm taking for today is a bit on the slower end of jets, but it's still going to be a pretty fast plane. And I'm talking about the L-39 Albatross. Now, this plane here came from the Reno expansion pack. Now, for those who don't know, the L-39 Albatross was originally made in Czechoslovakia back in the 1960s. And this little plane became a favorite jet trainer for many countries throughout the Warsaw Pact and beyond. And it is still served in many active air forces to this day. It has been used by different air forces, including Czechoslovakia, Ukraine, Russia, Romania, and more have used this L-39. This bad boy can go at 5,000 feet, can go up to 400 knots, and it can have a range of nearly 590 nautical miles on internal fuel. But with external fuel, it can go up to 940 nautical miles. It has a service ceiling of 36,000 feet. And this thing is an absolute beast of a plane. Definitely a very popular plane, and there are thousands of them. There are hundreds of them still being used for private owners. In fact, there's so many that the Reno Air Races even use them for their events. And that's why this plane's in the sim. This particular variant is called the Drop Bear. And this variant was one of the ones you get for the for one of the Reno races. And this plane was actually flown by Australian pilots. And it would reach first, and it once reached first place in the 2018 Reno Air Races, placing first in the silver class. So pretty cool, some pretty interesting history. And this one here is particularly unique as this one actually has a glass cockpit. So now, not all of the L-39s look like this. There are some L-39s you can get that actually have actually the steam gauges. So this one's particularly unique. It's one of the only two glass cockpit planes. Hello there, Plan Neutral. Good to see you. Great to have you here. I hope things are going well. So let's get this plane a little started. We have a cockpit checklist. Things are free and correct. The battery should be on right here. You'll shut off lever. Boom. Forward and guarded it. The pilot heaters are already off. Throttles checked. Taxi lane lights, they're already off. Down, parking brakes full forward. Pressure indicator, check. All they must be on, so we turn on the nav lights. Actually, yeah, they need to be on. And before we start engine, we make sure indicator must be on. On. We turn on the nav avionics switch here. And we put full backwards to the stop position. Pretty easy. And we just turn on the turbine starter. 1, 2, and release. And finally, we have the engine starter. We pull this up. Now, every L-39 might be a little different. So if you have a different version of the plane, idle. I'll stop this. Let's see if the plane's engine started. It should. Can you go? To take it a second, we're gonna go. And the engine started. Okay, good. all this other stuff should say off. I think it's going to be off pretty quickly. Now we turn on the main generator should be on. Alternators on. Generator light should be off. Off. We turn on the emergency generator on. We turn all the main switches on, including the engine system on. We turn on both inverters. And then we need to set the anti-ice switch to auto. So, done, and that completes the startup for the L-39 Albatross. So pretty easy startup with the simple checklist. Hey, Goblin Zeus, good to see you. Yeah, this is a jet flight. So I need to get a pushback. I need to get my pushback. Hey, Kozaki Flyer, I'm doing great. Yeah, this is the first jet flight I'm doing on my channel. I don't really do these jet flights, but this is brand new. So I'm doing well. So if you guys want to know the route for today's flight, I got quite a lot of choices. What's the cruise speed? Well, if we go max speed, we can actually go pretty far. We're gonna go around about 400 knots. We're just gonna fly around Houston, and we're gonna fly over to Johnson Space Center first, located in Houston. So we're visiting all the NASA sites today. And that's why I wanted to wear this t-shirt. I got this in Huntsville. The best kind of jet lag. This was from one of their things I got from the NASA store. Hey, Splasher6, good to see you. Yeah, you would have never expected me to do this. I'm doing a jet flight. But I wanted to actually do some jet business. Now, for the first part of the leg, we're not going to fly particularly fast. So I'm going to hopefully try to keep it under 250. And then afterwards, we're going to bowl up to like 10 to 15,000 feet. We're going to actually do some jet flying. Also, one more thing I got. I also got my push talk radio set up. So any places we fly, you'll get an audio tour. Which I think, Viper in a jet? Yeah. No, I like to fly my jets once in a while, but I want to do something a little different today. Viper. Hey, I mean, there are weird things. I mean, Mer's been in a Gikna, in an airliner, so, I mean, that's weird. We need to go to 183 degrees. And we're going to go to 2,000 feet initially. So we're not, I'm going to try and do this and without leaving this too fast. Okay, we're set. Now, Push Talk Radio is nice. I haven't used it for a while. Too fast for my latest toy. I got a freeware measurement. Oh, that's pretty cool. Kazaki Flyer. Yeah, measurement. A lot. I hope it's good. It's okay. We're getting ready for takeoff. Put the flaps down. Get the trim. Put that. In fact, I'm probably going to do this from now on, is put the bush talk radio. That way it can talk about whatever place we fly. 30. Here's the speed. 40. And takeoff. And takeoff. We're up. I'm going to turn the land here. I'm going to wait till everyone else gets in the air if they want to join me. I see Snowball. He's in Air 320. I just forgot though. I had a scenery for the KFJ Space Center. I forgot to actually turn it on. You took it to the for the mock loop. Ah, great. That's wonderful. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and turn. Let me go ahead and remove stick visibility so I can go ahead and put the autopilot. Okay. Now the plane should stabilize. I keep it within. I try to keep this thing under 250 just to respect. So let's go ahead and look at see who's here with us today. I mean, it's just going to be me flying today. Apparently my encoder's overloaded. We have some pretty interesting clouds here today. The settings I got for today, I actually picked one of the new weather preset pro, the Epic Low Clouds. So we're going to have some really nice low clouds to fly over today, and they will look amazing once we get to high altitude. If I wasn't at work, I'd hop in with you. No worries. No worries, Planet Neutral. I'm great to have you here. And speaking of which, so Planet Neutral is a newer streamer. He's actually from the same state as I am. He's from Indiana. He's actually not far from me. He's in Madison, actually. So I recommend you guys help him out here. I think you'd be really appreciated if you did. I mean, I gotta support my fellow Hoosiers, you know. So here it is. We're in Houston. And there it is, downtown Houston. We see Houston. I think I see Minute Maid Park over here. Further along, there's the Astrodome and the NRG Stadium located over here. I think also around here is the Toyota Center, all rockets. I mean, let's fly around here for a bit.
Minute Maid Park, previously named the ballpark at Union Station, Enron Field, and Astros Field, is a ballpark in downtown Houston, Texas, United States, which opened in 2000 as the home stadium of the Houston Astros of Major League Baseball. The ballpark is Houston's first retractable roofed stadium and features a natural grass playing field. The ballpark was built as a replacement for the Astrodome, the first domed sports stadium ever built, which opened in 1965. It is named for beverage brand Minute Maid, a subsidiary of the Coca-Cola Company, which acquired naming rights in 2000.
So there it is. So the first place we're visiting is Johnson Space Center. Now Johnson Space Center was formed in 1961, November 1st. Its origins started in 1958, and the leader of that first time was actually Robert R. Gamow. as well. Now, this place consists of 100 different complexes in the Clear Lake area of Houston, and it was actually named Johnson Space Center in honor of the late U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson, as an act by the United States Senate in 1963. Hey friends all, good to see you here, friends all. I know you're probably freaking out, friend all, saying, what the heck is Viperstrike doing in a jet? In one of the speedy fast jets. I know it's not the fastest jet in the game, but it's still a very, very fast jet. Now, we're flying to one of the other airports. Ellington Airport's to our left. I think that's one of the Houston GA airports. But now we're approaching the Space Center. So, like I said, this is a very important facility. This is where they do a lot of the mission control center and stuff. And it's been involved in nearly every NASA human spaceflight since Gemini 4, including the well-known Apollo program, Skylab, Apollo Soyuz, and the Space Shuttle. All this stuff is actually here in Houston Space Center. In fact, it's popularly known by the Radio Science Mission Control in Houston as well. Should be approaching here pretty soon. And here it is. Here's Johnson Space Center. Let me go ahead and actively pause.
Space Center Houston is a science museum which serves as the official visitor center of NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston. It earned a place as a Smithsonian affiliate museum in 2014. The organization is owned by NASA and operated under a contract by the non-profit Manned Spaceflight Education Foundation, a 501 organization. The Johnson Space Center is the home of mission control and astronaut training. The center opened in 1992, replacing the former visitor center in Johnson Space Center Building 2. The 250,000 square feet museum displays 400 space artifacts, permanent and traveling exhibits, and theaters with a focus on the history of the human spaceflight program. The center also hosts STEM programs for all ages.
Yep, so this is Johnson Space Center. This is the museum located here. Now, this wasn't originally based on the original release. This actually came around as a new PY marker from World Update 2. So it featured the space shuttle, and on top and below that is one of the NASA planes used for it. And it looks like what appears to be a Boeing 747, actually. You can see the exterior of the building and all that. Which I think is pretty cool. They actually modeled it with the parking lot and such. Now over here, this is the Johnson Space Center area. This one here has over 100 different complexes of 100 different buildings. It was built on 1,620 acres, and that's what led Houston to be acquired the Space City in 1967. And it has tons of different facilities, including buoyancy labs and all sorts of other stuff. It also, the astronauts here receive training in spacecraft systems and basic sciences including mathematics, guidance navigation, oceanography, orbital dynamics, astronomy, and physics. And all candidates are required to complete military water survival training prior to beginning their flying instruction. Which I mean makes sense because actually the water acts very much like space. Space has less gravity. Kind of that's what it is. Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool change at least. Let's get back to our jet. Here's Prince All. Let's go ahead and complete, let's get back and turn to the left. Alright, there it is. Go ahead and turn this thing to 8 degrees. Heading mode. And let's go up. Let's head to 12,000 feet. What's out of the clouds, everyone? Let's do the full line cloud. Zeus and Prince are here as well. A lot of you are taking much faster jets than mine, so that's why I wanted to take something a little slower. I didn't want to blitz through this. Wow, that is stunning. Holy crap. That is cool. Yeah. This actually came with the most recent update for the Weather Preset Pro. And actually, let's go to 15,000. I want to get above the rest of these clouds. Power to around 75% power. Don't need to go super fast here. So we have friends all in the back here, and there's Druid Zeus in the mighty F-16 Fighting Falcon. But yeah, it looks absolutely amazing today. Well, I'm gonna be right back. I have a restroom break, so I'm gonna, if it's all right, I'll be being right back. But before that, we're gonna play some. I go slow in the F-16. All right, got one. But I'll be right back. I got a restroom break. So let me play some music, and we'll be heading over, and I'll be heading back soon.
Sea Rim State Park has 5.2 miles of Gulf shoreline and 4,000 acres of marshlands and is located in southeast Texas. The park is located on the Gulf of Mexico in southern Jefferson County, south of Port Arthur and just west of Sabine Pass. As part of the Greater Texas Coastal Birding Trail, the marshland plays host to countless species of migratory birds on their journey through the Central Flyway. McFadden National Wildlife Refuge is home to the largest remaining freshwater marsh on the Texas coast.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. So it's great to have everyone here. I hope everyone had a good weekend today. I hope everyone had a great rest of the weekend, and hopefully you all have a good week. For me, not much has been going on. I've just been working on stuff for the Berlin-Beijing flight. I've been working on the slides for next week's topic, which will be the Trans-Siberian Railway. Excuse me one second. I'll be right back. Sorry. Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a respiratory thing again, so. We're flying pretty good here. We're heading away to New Orleans. For some of you that don't know, New Orleans is actually the largest city in all of Louisiana. Let's see who's still with us. We still have Spirit Zeus and Friend All. There's Friend All over here. Ferdinator. We're definitely cruising pretty fast here. So the view out here is absolutely amazing. The view is amazing, guys. I mean, the low clouds just make it really, really awesome to fly over. It's stunning out here today, that's for sure. I appreciate all the people who've showed up here today. Thank you guys for coming here today. Let's get back to the cockpit. But yeah, it's absolutely incredible here today. These Albatross really do. I could do it today after 16 hours. Yes, it's Goblin Zeus. I know that Tomcat is still finishing up on his around the world journey today. Wonder where he's at now. I know Mert's got his stream. Oh, Tomcat is all the way in France. Okay. For guys who don't know, New Orleans, being the largest city in all of Louisiana, and it's one of the larger cities in the American Deep South. Now, one of the things that New Orleans is known for is the fact that as one of the most important ports of the Gulf Coast region of the U.S. New Orleans is also world famous for its music, mainly its jazz. Creole cuisine, which is definitely one of the most unique types of food here you can find in New Orleans, along with many different dialects of English, and its annual celebrations and festivals, mainly the iconic Mardi Gras. The historical heart of the city is none other than the French Quarter, or known as Vieille Par. It's known for its French and Spanish Creole architecture and vibrant nightlife along Bourbon Street. All this stuff makes New Orleans definitely the most unique city in the entire country, large to its multicultural and multilingual heritage. And this city was established all the way back in 1718 by French colonists. It was once the territorial capital of French Louisiana before being part of the U.S. in the Louisiana Purchase of 1803, which was an absolute bargain steal during that time. And by 1840, it was the third most populous city in the United States, and it was the largest city of the American South until after World War II. However, one of the negatives of being in New Orleans is it's very vulnerable to flooding, mainly due to its high rainfall, low elevation, poor natural drainage, and proximity to multiple mines. So in order to do that, the state and federal authorities have installed a complex system of different levees and drainage pumps to protect the city. Everyone knows what happened in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, and that hurricane flooded 80% of the city. Kind of a bit of a background with New Orleans for a bit. A bit of background. Goblin Zeus says, I made a flight with Jay Winneker in the F-18 just before, but I prefer the F-16. Yeah, I think the F-16 is better. I know the F-18 has become much better if you add some of the mods. Here's friends all down over here. Here's friends all here. Here's to reduce all the way up at 22,000 feet. Also, let me show you something really cool before we land. Here's the two-tone Murphy panel. Now, on Monday, this panel got an update. We have a METAR, we have a tracker, and a weather. So we can this and track. Aircraft 7, Fog Group Fireflies. The preset Tower Clouds is really awesome. Yeah, I could try with different presets. Boom. And look at this. Yeah, I know exactly where I'm at all times. Once I have this, you guys can find out where I'm at the whole time. That is pretty cool. Do we need weather information? Let me put in the ICAO code at the airport. I had to install. You should install it. It's actually very nice. Install KNVG. Accept. Now let's look at the airport information. Hard to soon. So we have our airport information. 2 feet high. Here's our time zone information. And if we want to, we can get back to the weather. Here's our weather. This is live weather, mind you. Broken clouds at 2,500 feet. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see what towering clouds is offered. Let's put the towering clouds on. I want to see what live was. I think we should look. Now we're not far from the airport, so let me go ahead and flip the nav map. I think we're not very far from it. We'll make our first landing of the trip. We're going to land on runway 04. We're just going to land straight in. So let me go ahead and drop my altitude to 2,000 feet. Go ahead and drop down. The airport shouldn't be far. I think I see it over here. I think I see it ahead. No, not far. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back to the free. No, not Arctic chill. We don't. Doesn't snow in. There's big and bold. Don't remember what it was. Here's the rolling clouds. No, not one little clouds. Sure. Ultra high level clouds, no. Sorry, I try to remember where Alright, we'll go with breezy. Let's go with coastal winds. We are heading to New Orleans after all. Hey, Cy Murray 1234 has just followed the channel. Thanks, Cy Murray. I really appreciate it. And with that follow, we're now only 3 away from our goal of 250. So, if you guys like this content, don't be afraid to follow the channel and support my journey to 250 followers. We're going to go ahead and turn off the autopilot. We are about to land here pretty soon. trim. And Prince All's here. He's in the F-15, but since I don't have it, I actually just have. He just shows up as an A320, aka a Gigna. There. And we landed. Well, 160 feet per second. That's a very good. I know I had quite a few G's, but that wasn't bad for my first jet landing for today. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Get the parking brake out. And here's Druid Zeus. He's going to land here today. And he should be down in the F-16 as well. Welcome everyone to the Naval's Air Station Joint Reserve Base, New Orleans. Welcome. This airfield is home to the 159th Fire Wing of the Louisiana Air National Guard, the Coast Guard Air Station, New Orleans, along with other U.S. Navy and Army activities. It was built from 1954 to 1957, and it was still in use since April 26, 1958. Definitely something unique among this airfield and the sim is its grade. Very different airfield. Hey, Scruffy Tam, good to see you. Guys, if you haven't checked out Scruffy Tam, awesome family-friendly content creator. Really fun and engaging guy, and he's always extremely supportive. So, if you guys haven't checked him out, do so. I'm doing great, and we're doing a jet flight, if you're interested. I'm taking the L-39. We took off from outside of Houston. This is our first stop in New Orleans. Then second leg will be from New Orleans all the way to Huntsville, Alabama. And then finally we go from Huntsville. We make a really long leg to Cape Canaveral. It's going to be a long one. This journey is going to take us 1,000 miles, which is actually the longest of any of the flights I've ever done. And it's themed after the NASA Space Center sites, which is what I'm wearing right now. No worries. Probably should be back at work soon. So I hope things go well at your work. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to the taxiway. The first place we're visiting is the NASA Macau Assembly Center. So the NASA Macau Assembly Center is going to be, this is where it's part of the Marshall Flight Center in Huntsville, and it's used as a manufacturing plant. In fact, it's one of the largest manufacturing plants in the world, with 43 environmentally controlled acres under one roof, which is around 1.87 million square feet. or 174,000 meters squared. It employs 4,200 people, by the way. And it was used by the Chrysler Corporation to build the Saturn I and the Saturn 1B rockets. It was even used by Boeing to build the famous Saturn V rockets. So they've been using these a lot. Case question 2. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy flying. We're still going to go around 2,000 feet. We're not going to go particularly fast. This one. $79 miles. We're going to head to New Orleans. Beautiful Big Easy. So I'm just going to fly in a bit of downtown New Orleans, then head back to the route. So let's, I just want to take a quick tour of the city before we head back on our way. NOLA, as the locals call it, NOLA. Yeah. I have a childhood friend who lives in Huntsville who keeps begging me to come visit. Yeah, Huntsville's quite nice. I actually have pictures of my, when I went to the Huntsville Space Center on my Discord. I want to make sure my invite link's working on. Let me go ahead and change the invite link. So guys, if you don't know, I do have a Discord channel. And if you want to look at my previous VODs, I have a YouTube as well. So this is downtown New Orleans. NOLA. Now this big white building over here, this isn't just any sports arena, this is the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Hosted many different events. It plays the New Orleans Saints football team. It's also been the longtime host for many Super Bowls have been hosted here in New Orleans.
The Mercedes-Benz Superdome, often referred to simply It primarily serves as the home venue for the New Orleans Saints of the National Football League, the home stadium for the Sugar Bowl, New Orleans Bowl in college football. Bourbon Street is a historic street in the heart of the French Quarter.
But the place we're visiting today is Macau. Let's see if we can find Macau's space production facility. Could be around here somewhere. Let's see if we can find Macau facility. I think it's ahead of us. And there she is. There's the Macau assembly plant. A classmate of mine is actually the chairman of the Sugar Bowl. He proudly lives in the Superdome. Yeah, the Sugar Bowl's been hosted in New Orleans for decades. And there it is, guys. There's Macau assembly plant right over here. This, mind you, this is 43 acres of this. It's all under one roof. Which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take a closer look at what it looks like in the sim. So this is Macau Assembly Plant, located not far outside New Orleans. It looks really nice. This is photogrammetry too. This is stock, and it looks actually really good. So yeah, this one looks like pretty cool. But yeah, that is the Macau facility. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, you can see all of this stuff under the roof. Now that is actually pretty cool. I didn't know they were going to model in sim, but yeah, that is Macau assembly. Okay. Now we're going to go 27 nautical miles. We're going to go turn to around. We're going to visit the next space site. This is Stinnis Space Center. So, Stennis Space Center, the Stennis Space Center is located in Mississippi. Now, Stennis is actually a rocket testing facility in Hancock County, Mississippi, on the banks of the Pearl River. In fact, this is NASA's largest rocket engine test facility. And there are over 50 different local, state, national, private, and public companies using this rocket facility for rocket testing. Now it was formed in 1961 by NASA for testing their rockets, and they have multiple different test stands. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple different test stands, and many different types of agencies used there, including the U.S. Geological Survey, the U.S. Navy, Mississippi State University, Rolls-Royce is used it, and even Lockheed Martin even used it for their stuff. Extremely cool little information about the place that even I didn't recognize. Go ahead and play a little bit of music. Play some electronic music. Kind of fits with the whole space theme, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is the best kind of jet lag to think of. I appreciate all the new people here today. I really appreciate every one of you being here today. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to live weather. I'll probably be using that for the rest of the flight. Just use some live weather. Here, and there is JC Stennis Space Center. Unfortunately, no one's made scenery for this yet, which is weird. Especially with this being a major space center. Here it is. Let me give you a bit of the audio tour. So here's all the space testing sites.
The John C. Stennis Space Center is a NASA rocket testing facility. It is located in Hancock County, Mississippi, on the banks of the Pearl River at the Mississippi-Louisiana border. As of 2012, it is NASA's largest rocket engine test facility. There are over 30 local, state, national, international, private, and public companies and agencies using SSC for their rocket testing facilities. The Rocket Propulsion Test Complex is a rocket testing complex which was built in 1965 as a The John C. Stennis Space Center is a NASA rocket testing facility. It is located in Hancock County, Mississippi, on the banks of the Pearl River at the Mississippi-Louisiana border. As of 2012, it is NASA's largest rocket engine test facility. There are over 30 local, state, national, international, private, and public companies and agencies using SSC for their rocket testing facilities. The Rocket Propulsion Test Complex is a rocket testing complex which was built in 1965 as a component of the John C. Stennis Space Center. The Rocket Propulsion Test Complex played an important role in the development of the Saturn V rocket. The A1, A2 and B1/B2 test stands were declared a National Historic Landmark in 1985. The NASA Engineering and Science Directorate at SSC operates and maintains SSC's rocket test stands.
So basically this test center was really important for the development of the Saturn V rocket. And I think I'm quite happy with the Bush Talk radio, because now I think with this I might be able to finally use it for my tours. I think it would be great. We're going up really, really high. We're going to 15,000 feet, boys. I'm gonna climb at the high altitude again. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, who would expect Viperstrike taking it at 10? Today, I can show to some of the other content creators, hey, Viperstrike doesn't have to do just push planes. I can do other stuff too. And trust me, this will not be the last time you see me hit an unusual plane, because I got something planned for my birthday. planning to take the T-6 Texan, and we'll visit the World War II Army Airfield in Indiana, Kentucky. Oh yeah, he got the chairmanship a couple years ago. I believe your chairman is, there's about 110 members representing the Sugar Bowl. Chapter referee. What kind of chairman is he, Splasher 6? You're looking at the All-State Sugar Bowl staff. My biggest hurdle with Bushtalk Radio was getting the audio loud enough to be heard on the stream. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing here. Yeah, same here. But I still have it with me to help me out through this, though. At least I'm trying something different with the radio talk. We're going to go all the way across the state of Alabama, and we're going to head all the way to Huntsville. His name is Jeff Hunway, director of the Sugar Bowl Committee. Oh, I didn't know about that. Well, that's so cool. I didn't know you knew the chairman. That's awesome, Flasher. Didn't know about that. That's cool. I want to show you guys something. This was from some of my Discord picks. So I want to show you some of this. Here we go. So this is my some picks from my Discord. Let me go ahead and show them to you. Let me show you these picks. The first one here. What's this? So this was me with the Saturn V rocket. So this was my picture with the Saturn V rocket at the U.S. Rocket and Space Center. Actually, if you want me to, let me do something with this. We graduated high school together. He was a star athlete and a nice guy too. That's awesome. Let me get a second. I'm getting my my pictures here showing up. There we go. Yeah, you built that? No, I did not build it. Let me go ahead. Yeah, let me show you some of the pictures. No, I did not build any of that. So, let me show you each of the pictures. Slideshow. Here it is. There is me. This was the Rocket Space Center during that time. This was earlier, this was last year, during the summer. So this is the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. And then this one right here is a really interesting plane. This may look like an SR-71 Blackbird, but it's actually not an SR-71 Blackbird, actually. This actually is a very different plane. In fact, it's actually the predecessor to the SR-71 Blackbird. And that was actually, this is the Lockheed A-12. And it was the predecessor to the famous SR-71 Blackbird. Pretty cool. And NASA's used it for their intelligence stuff. This here was the original rocket composer. And originally, there was supposed to be the rocket in front of it. There's supposed to be the space shuttle up there. The Challenger 6, apparently. However, that spaceship is getting restored during that time. So that's why you don't see a space shuttle on top of it. This is actually where the space shuttle attaches to the side of the rocket and proceeds to take off from there. Then this one is the Cessna Gulfstream. This is one of the jets they use to simulate astronaut training. So they take one of these business jets and go very high up. Simulate the high altitudes and low oxygen settings. So there's that. Pretty cool. Then there's one of the Saturn rockets. Yeah, it's huge, trust me. When you stand next to it, you realize how big how tall that rocket is. Then there's some of the little lunar complexes, like some of the little research probes. I mean, just imagine trying to fit in with your spacesuit and all that into this little tiny space. You can see why it gets claustrophobic. Then there's the Lunar Rover vehicle, and this is the Lunar probe itself, right here. Now, the reason for this material looking like this shiny is because this thing doesn't actually melt nearly as much when you put it through copper and all that. And finally, this is the Apollo 16 command module. Now, this is the command module on the Apollo 16. And inside that command module was astronauts John Young, Thomas Ken Matley, and Charles Duke. And they collected 280 pounds of moon rocks during that mission as well. Pretty cool pictures from during my time. Definitely very nice. Oh yeah, and if you guys want to know about that Saturn rocket, yeah, if you don't know how big that Saturn V, how powerful those rockets are, well, let me tell you how much power each of these produce. These things are powered by 5 Rocketdyne F1 engines. These things have colossal power. One of these has over 1.7 billion pounds of thrust each, and the Saturn V carries 5 of these. So literally, this thing has nearly 7 million. Over nearly 8 billion pounds of thrust put that in perspective, this L-39 Albatross, this jet, it has 3,790 pounds of thrust. That means it would take thousands of... This means well over... it's actually only 300,000 Albatrosses just to equal the power of this one Saturn V rocket. I think I could probably tell you the scale of that thing. It's just insane. But I mean, it makes sense it needs all that power. It needs to break through Earth's atmosphere in its orbit. Pretty cool stuff. I only got this, how many Apollo missions were there? Well, now there's actually quite a few Apollo missions. There were 32 successful flights with 2 failures, Apollo 1 and 13, and then there was a partial failure in Apollo 6. So in total, there were actually 35 Apollo flights. Actually, there were 17 Apollo missions, but there's also a lot of other missions they have done too. There's actually been 17 of them. That's all. I only got to see one they had laying on the side of the Space Center in Florida. I bet it's different look standing up. Yeah, it does look a lot different when it stands up there. Posture 6. Like I said, it's been a while since I last been to the Space Center, but I'm definitely hoping to go back to the one in Orlando pretty soon, the one in Cape Canaveral. Yeah, definitely very cool. I'm definitely happy I finally got to do a jet flight. I don't usually ever get to do these, so this is actually pretty cool. Let's look who's with us. I know it's been a while since I checked. We have Jurxus in the F-16. And Parental All's coming around too. It's good to have all you guys here. definitely very cool. I know there's not much scenery in Alabama, that's why I'm up, like, way up to 15,000 plus feet. Definitely some pretty cool stuff. So, I think we're going to fly near Tuscaloosa now. I think we're not too far. Thanks, says Brendel, no worries. That's weird, I'm dropping frames. It's weird. It's actually pretty clear today. The skies are clear. Pretty interesting to think about. So over here, this area right here, we're going to be heading near Tuscaloosa, home for the famous University of Alabama and the Crimson Tide. For those who are not aware, University of Alabama is universally known for their football program. Most successful college football program in history, winning 18 national championships, currently led by one of the greatest college coaches of all time, Nick Saban. Modern Alabama has now been a dynasty. As well. Their stadium they play, Bryant-Denny Stadium, can host up to 101,000 people, which makes it the 7th largest stadium in the U.S. and the 8th largest non-racing stadium in the world. In addition to Nick Saban, they've also won national championships under the famous head coach of Paul Bear Bryant in its houndstooth hats. And they're also home to tons of Pro Football Hall of Famers, either trophy winners, and much, much more. So, there's Tuscaloosa. All tied. There is downtown Tuscaloosa, or down over here. I know it's not much to look at 15,000 feet, but there it is. There's Tuscaloosa down over here. I'm also going to probably switch to a different plane. For the last leg of the journey, I'm actually going to switch to the F-14 Tomcat. Or the Tomcat. I probably want to do that. Switching out to something a little faster to complete the rest of the journey. If you all don't mind. Because I want something to go much faster for the final leg of the trip. Okay? It says service error. I'm trying to get a new pole. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm going to take something faster for the next leg. Yeah, I'm going to take the Tomcat. I haven't took that on one of my streams. So yeah, I think Tomcat's where I'm going to go. approaching Huntsville pretty soon. So now let's talk a bit about Huntsville. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it for a little bit. So Huntsville, for those, Huntsville was actually one of Alabama's largest city. In fact, it is the largest city in Alabama, located in Madison County. It was founded in 1805 by European Americans and became a town in 1811. And when Alabama was admitted to the state, in its first year, it was the capital of Alabama until it moved to more central settlements and eventually into Montgomery. However, the thing was that it grew massively since World War II. During World War II, Redstone Arsenal was established there. And then after the war, additional research was conducted there, mainly for space exploration, as the Marshall Space Flight Center and the U.S. Army Aviation Missile Command have been located at the nearby arsenal. And it's so influential with space that Huntsville's nickname is Rocket City. It has a population of around 250,000 people, making it the most populous city in Alabama, and it's been a major center for rocket propulsion research for multitudes of different companies and stuff making it up, which is pretty cool. So the history of Redstone Arsenal goes all the way back to 1941. It's a garrison for various different tenants on the Department of Defense, Department of Justice, and most notably NASA. Redstone alignment was established as a chemical manufacturing facility. In the immediate post-war era, it was used for research and development by German weapon rocket scientists who were brought in the U.S. During a pretty controversial operation known as Operation Paperclip. The team first worked on ballistic missiles, starting with the derivatives of the Nazi V-2 rockets, before moving on to an ever set of larger designs, and many of their tests were carried out in the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. In 1956, the Army relieved of most of the ballistic missiles in favor of weapons from the Airfield. The German design team was spun off to become part of the newly founded National Aeronautics and Space Administration, aka NASA. The Cold War moved to space, and the U.S. intended to compete with the Soviet Union there as well across the globe. And it has served as the primary site for the space launch vehicle designs of the 1960s. So it's got a very long history around here too about Redstone. So we're going to land action at Redstone Army Airfield. Now this Army Airfield was located at the Redstone Arsenal, and it was originally constructed for munitions testing for the United States Army and Army Air Forces, but it's currently used to support the U.S. Army Aviation and Missile Command as well. And it was established in 1943 as well. we'll be visiting the Redstone rocket test site. We're going to go and visit this place. We're going to circle around here, and then we'll circle around the test site. I'm going to go ahead and just turn off the autopilot. So here it is. There is the Redstone rocket test site. This is located in front of us. So here it is, there's the Redstone test site. We can see some of the photogrammetry, but there it is.
The Propulsion and Structural Test Facility is a rocket testing facility of the Redstone Test Stand or Interim Test Stand was used to develop and test fire the Redstone missile, Jupiter C sounding rocket, Juno I launch vehicle and Mercury Redstone launch vehicle.
So let's go ahead and
the interim test stand was built in 1953 by Dr. Werner von Braun's team for a mere $25,000 out of materials salvaged from the Redstone arsenal. In 1957, the permanent test facility called the Static Test Tower was finally finished, but the Army decided to continue operations at the interim test stand rather than move. From 1953 to 1961, 362 static rocket tests were conducted there, including 200 that led directly to improvements in the Redstone rocket for the Mercury manned flight program.
It's not stable. This thing is not stable. Sorry about that. That was... yeah, that was a really rough landing. That's what you call a Navy landing. Not exactly the world's smoothest landing. At least we got it down, so here's Druid Zeus. So welcome to Redstone Army Airfield, located in nearby Huntsville, Alabama. We gotta take a bit of a look to the testing sites. Yeah, it's a Navy landing, but I landed it at least. So I'll be right back, and I'm going to change my plane. I'm going to change to the F-14 Tomcat, and we'll complete the rest of the flight, since it will take way too long in the L-39. So I think let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and change the plane, and we'll be right back. I was taking. Yeah, you were taking a shower there. So now we load in, and we'll be loading it in the Mighty DC Designs. Let me go ahead and change the command. The route would still be the same, but we'll go ahead and take off with the F-14 Tomcat. So here it is, guys. This is the F-14 Tomcat from DC Designs. For some of you who have never seen it, this is the famous plane that was used in the iconic movie Top Gun. So today we're getting this bad boy out for a flight. I mean, just look at the sound of this thing. It sounds amazing. I don't usually fly fast jets, but trust me, this will be a fast jet. So we're going to go ahead and take this bad boy off. And we're off. Stay somewhat low to the ground. So the main place we're visiting on this, we'll be going ahead. We're going to visit the U.S. Rocket Center. Which is located right here, actually. Right here. This is the U.S. Rocket Space Center. Located actually right over here. So here it is, guys. The famous U.S. Rocket Space Center. As you can see here. Now this was built during the 1960s on the suggestion by the suggestion of none other than Wernher von Braun. He wanted to create this to attract about a way to learn about space and space program from the very beginning. And it features one of the most extensive collections of space artifacts. It displays more than 1,500 pieces of artifacts, with rockets, engines, spacecraft, simulators, and hands-on exhibits. It's also featured many different kinds of military-style camps, like the U.S. Space Camp, which gives people the exposure to the space program, and then the Aviation Challenge, which is, I got this t-shirt from, that offers a taste of military fighter pilot training with simulations, lectures, and survival exercises for kids 9 to 18. Hey, Flying for Paul, good to see you. Flying for Paul is also a newer one as well, and he's doing an around-the-world trip with the X-Cub, and he's doing it for charity. So I recommend supporting him and his channel. So we're doing a jet flight through, we passed through Houston, we're heading to Huntsville, and now we're going to head to Cape Canaveral in the F-14 Tomcat. So it looks pretty good, and this is stock too. Looks pretty amazing if you ask me. So there's the spaceship here. There's the Saturn V rocket. I mean, it just stands out. Pretty cool stuff. But now we're going to head Now we're going to fly high into space. So thankfully this thing does have an autopilot, which... Click the autopilot. This thing does have an autopilot, so we're actually going to engage the autopilot. We're going to hold on to the heading and select. And we're going to go pretty high in the air. We're going to go 15,000 feet. We're going to climb very high in the air. Is Redstone named after for the red soil? Good question, actually. Redstone Arsenal? I believe so. I believe so because this area is full of the redstone. And it's actually, and that's because a lot of the components of the archaeological sites, and it was called a redstone. So that's why they nicknamed it, because of all that redstone. Good question. We're gonna go crazy high, 20,000 feet, I believe. It's nowadays you see me in a jet, but trust me. Okay, 29,000 feet, this is... Oh, okay. Wow, look at this! This is cool. I don't usually fly high jets like... I'm still here just lurking, no worries. Just end some videos. Yeah. Yeah, this Tomcat's pretty amazing. Thank you so much for the shout. Hey, no worries, my Paul. Happy to help someone newer. It looks beautiful. Yeah, this is with the Weather Preset Pro add-on. You can get this from the Orbex shop, from Sim Market for under 10 bucks, and it is amazing for the price. I mean, 10 bucks for weather presets may not sound like much, but you get over 50 weather presets. So you can simulate all sorts of flying. You can simulate skis. You can, like, the winter. You can simulate all sorts of cloud conditions, rain, blizzards. It just gives you, it just opens up your flight experience too. This one here is from the Big and Bold Weather preset. And yeah, this is the DC Design F14 Tomcat. You can get this plane for just fine, I believe. And I think this is probably one of the best jets you can buy for the whole sim. You can also get this in Sim Marketplace too. And this thing's for 35 bucks, and I gotta say, this is one of the best jets in the whole sim. And I don't usually fly military jets, but this, in my opinion, is my favorite military jet. I love this one. It is so cool. Guys, it's... I mean, look at that. That is awesome. Holy crap. Oh yeah, one more thing. This plane's gonna get a redesign too. If you guys don't know the news, this plane is getting an overhaul in a couple months, apparently. This is getting a major rework. So this plane could be even. They're going to improve all the textures and everything, and this is going to make the Tomcat even more awesome. So I'm very excited to see what they do next with the Tomcat. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. Definitely an amazing little plane, that's for sure. Dive boom, Mach 1. Yeah, this thing is fast. Yeah, I go even faster, but I think the 700 knots should be more than enough, especially with how this is. I think this is perfectly good. But yeah, this thing isn't. It sounds amazing. I still don't know how to start this thing, but these are formation lights. Tail lights are on. Now we have all the formation lights and stuff on. I want to see what it looks like for different times. That's sunset. Oh. So this is sunset. This is what it looks like sunset. It looks absolutely. Now, for a lot of these people who are not familiar with the F-14 Tomcat, this thing was a dedicated air-to-air supremacy machine. It is a supersonic twin-engine. It is a variable sweep wing, which is very unique among a lot of the planes. And this was developed for the United States Navy Naval Fighter Experimental Program. It was the first of the American Teen Series fighters, which also includes the F-15 and the F-16 as well. It made its debut in December 21st, 1970, and made its first deployment in 1974 aboard the USS Enterprise on carrier number 65. It replaced the F-4 Phantom II and was the primary air superiority fighter for the United States Navy into the 2000s. Wow, until it was replaced by the F-14 Superdome. This plane is very powerful as well. Powered by two General Electric F-110 GE400 turbofans, it can produce 16,610 pounds of thrust each dry, and with afterburn, it can put up to 28,000 afterburn. It can go into a max speed of Mach 2.34 at altitude. It has a maximum range of 800 miles. It has a service ceiling of 53,000 feet. And this thing carries all sorts of weapons. It carries a 20mm M61 Vulcan cannon. It has hard points, 10 total hard points, including 6 under the fuselage, 2 under the nacelles, and 2 on the wing gloves, with a capacity of 14,000 pounds of ordnance, fuel tanks. It carries 7 rocket pods, with 28 rockets total. And it carries all sorts of air missiles, like AIM-54 Phoenix, barrel and Sidewinder missiles, alongside with JDAMs and other bombs. Which makes it pretty cool, and it was designed by none other than Grumman. And the reason this plane was designed was the fact the F-4 Phantom, while it was great for intercepting bombers long range, for dogfighting, the F-4 Phantom was not good at all for the dogfighting. As a result. So this plane saw both intercepting bombers and all the rest of the stuff. And the fact is, it also is very maneuverable. It makes it quite the versatile plane. Very knowledgeable, man. I really appreciate it. I put a lot of work into the knowledge. I like it, yeah. It's nice that people have knowledge about these planes. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I'm just blitzing through everything. So, flying with me today, I see my good friend introducing for the all. How'd you get Push Talk Radio? Great question. Let me get the link. So here's the website, Push Talk Radio. So here's the link. Push Talk Radio is a program that connects to your sim, and what Push Talk Radio does is it lets you do audio tours. You can sightsee in the sim, and if you have this, if you have the client built within the flight simulator, it will let you do audio tours of all sorts of different POIs and such. And you can even submit your own POIs in audio tours, and it does with an auto-generated script and such. And that way, you can explore whole new areas for it. But there's three components to it. But the most important, the two ones you need, is the website and the client. If you download both of these, it should work. And it's really useful, especially when you go around the world and such. You can scan all sorts of unique POIs. For example, for me at least, I have POI markers. There's POI markers for the U.S. Space Center. There's one for the Johnson Space Center here, and the one we're going to fly is Cape Canaveral, like Kennedy Space Center. So we'll be flying through all of those. Yeah, definitely a good idea. You can also play radio tracks from here. You can tune to radio stations, but do be warned, because it's copyrighted. I would not recommend playing it on stream. I'm going to be the first one to probably tell you that. Okay? Yeah, just gonna be flying the bush. Be great if you tune in for a chat. Yeah, I think that would be great. I definitely might come around flying for Paul for a chat or two. Definitely. I'll probably make the time, man. I appreciate you coming by. Yeah, it's beautiful out here, Tank. what a great flight. Like I said, I don't usually do these jet flights. I usually do bush flights with the small bush planes. I just wanted to do something a bit different for today. And I'm glad I did. It's really well worth it. Let me go on and change the time, so be a little later. Let me go ahead and change the heading. Approaching this pretty quickly. You should get around a couple minutes. So definitely, I'm hoping that we have a good rest of the day. I know later today, Merck's going to be doing his flight. I think he's flying in the United States, I believe. I got a question. Why does it sound like fun? It doesn't sound like full afterburner. That's what the full afterburner sound like. But now we just broke the sound barrier, and then some. pretty amazing. We're flying over 1,000. I think through it is hypersonic. Yeah, we're going freely. We're going over 1,000 knots. I mean, we're blowing through everything. I think we're not too far away. I'm going to go ahead and drop altitude. I'm going to go ahead and drop my altitude hold. And start dropping my altitude. I know we're a while away, but I might as well just drop the altitude. We're around 200 degree, 5,200 feet. And I'm also going to change the weather. Tropical rays. So the place we're visiting today is going to be Kennedy Space Center. Now, Kennedy Space Center, located on Merritt Island in Florida. It was established all the way back. It was formed in July 1st, 1962, and since December 1968, it's been the primary launch center of human spaceflight for NASA. It was known where the launch of the Apollo, Skylab, and Space Shuttle programs were carried out from here. Located on Complex 39. Here's the thing, unfortunately, I don't have the scenery for it, unfortunately. I forgot to load it today. Don't worry, I'm not too worried. Now, Kennedy Space Center has over 700 different facilities across the center's 144,000 acres. Among those include the 525-foot-tall Vehicle Assembly Building to stack the NASA's largest rockets, the Launch Control Center, and a space station factory, and of course, there is also a 3-mile-long shuttle landing facility. There's also a well-known visitor complex, the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, is open to the public as well. And we're going to be visiting the visitor complex too. We're going to pay the visitor complex a bit of a visit too. Now, the visitors complex we're going to visit here is the visitor center of the Kennedy Space Center and contains exhibits displaying historical spacecraft, IMAX theaters, and a range of bus tours. It even features the Space Shuttle Atlantis exhibit and the shuttle launch experience as well. There's also a famous bus tour that goes around the entire facility and all that. So Druid Zeus is down here, and then over behind me, Prince All should be around here. Oh, what? They confirmed World Update 8? Wait a minute. So they revealed the new World Update. Is that true? Ooh, I got it from the Zoma website. We're going to Iberia, Spain, Portugal. Ooh. Spain, Portugal, Gibraltar, and possibly Andorra. Ooh, that would be really cool. We're going to Spain. Ooh, yes, that sounds amazing. Spain is such a cool place to fly in the sim. So we're currently approaching the NASA Space Shuttle landing site. So this thing is 3.5 miles long. One of the longest runways in the entire world, actually. It's 15,000 feet long. And despite its length, one of the astronauts claimed that he wished that the runway was half as wide and twice as long. As well, and trust me, they need to have this long of a runway because the spaceship, the space shuttle goes at such a fast speed. In addition, apparently, this is also a local nickname for this is the Gator Taming Facility. And that's because 4,000 alligators actually live here, basking on the runway. Yes, the alligators made this home. I'm going to go ahead and disable the autopilot. Spain win. Spain is coming out. It's coming out in March, late March 2022. So it's going to be not next month, but the month after. So late March. Goblin Zeus. Yeah, I saw 2 space shuttles here 30 years ago. Ooh, nice. So we're going to visit some of these areas. I know I don't have the scenery, unfortunately. I apologize. These are the different launch complexes. This one here is 39B and 39A. These are the different launch complexes. So going over here is going to be the vehicle assembly building, or what should be the vehicle assembly building should be located here. If I had the mod, I should have installed it. I'm a fool. I installed it. I didn't.
The Vehicle Assembly Building, or VOB, is the large building at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, designed to assemble the large pre-manufactured space vehicle components, such as the massive Saturn V and the Space Shuttle, and stack them vertically onto the mobile launcher platform and crawler transporter. The future space launch system will also be assembled there. At 129,428,000 cubic feet, it is one of the largest buildings in the world by volume. The building is at Launch Complex 39 at Castle, halfway between Jacksonville and Miami, and due east of Orlando on Merritt Island on the Atlantic coast of Florida.
This here is going to
The
be
VOB
the
is the
visitor
largest
complex.
single-story building in the world.
So this here is going to be the visitor complex. So this is the Kennedy
The
Space.
Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex is the visitor center at NASA's
So there
Kennedy
is the
Space
visitor
Center in
complex with all the
Florida.
different rockets. and
It
stuff.
features exhibits and
Flying over that.
displays, historic spacecraft and memorabilia, shows, 2 IMAX theaters, and a range of bus tours of the spaceport. The Space Shuttle Atlantis exhibit contains the Atlantis orbiter and the shuttle launch experience, a simulated ride into space. The center also provides astronaut training experiences, including a multi-axial chair and Mars base simulator. The visitor
So now we're visiting one final place. We're visiting Patrick Space Force Base. Now, this Space Force Base has actually been around since 1940, and has been in use since 1948. It is actually currently the home of the Space Launch Delta 45 of the United States Space Force. Hey! Shami88W has just followed the channel. Thank you, Shami88W. Welcome. We just turned all sorts of the different space stations and such. So we get to look at the beautiful ocean here. And we'll get ready for our landing at Patrick Air Force Base. We're going to land on runway... we're going to land on runway 02. We're going to go around. Now, the reason they named it the Patrick Space Force Base is because the United States actually established the Space Force. It was established. It's actually the most recent part of the Department of Defense. It was established back in December 20th, 2019 by Donald Trump. It was by an executive order by Donald Trump. Now, the Space Force was originally part of the Air Force, but then it became independent.
The Banana River is a 31-mile long lagoon that lies between Cape Canaveral and Merritt Island in Brevard County, Florida, in the United States. It is part of the Indian River Lagoon system and connects at its south end to the Indian River. It is the only part of the lagoon system not in the Intracoastal Waterway. It also has an outlet to the Atlantic Ocean via a lock into port.
So where in Algeria do you want me to fly, Shami88W? I would like to find out... I'm currently right now in Florida. So I'm not in Algeria, Shami. I'm in Florida now. So... But I might fly to Algeria at some point, so... Hey, never say never, alright? Gonna go ahead and lower the landing gear. The Western Desert would be a good place. Okay, the Western Desert, that's a good idea, friend all. Probably fly somewhere into Algiers.
Cocoa Beach is a city in Brevard County, Florida.
There's Cocoa Beach, now over here. And Patrick Space Force is down over here. We go ahead and flaps. There it is. This is going to be the final landing for tonight.
Patrick Space Force Base is a United States Space Force installation located between Satellite Beach and Cocoa Beach in Brevard County, Florida, in the United States. It is home to Space Launch Delta 45, known as the 45th Space Wing when it was part of the Air Force. In addition to its host wing responsibilities at Patrick SFB, the 45SW controls and operates Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and the Eastern Range. It was originally opened and operated from 1940 to 1947 as Naval Air Station Banana River, a U.S. Navy.
And that's it, guys. That completes your trip. Welcome to Patrick Space Force Base. This is one of the new handcrafted airports from the Game of the Year edition, and it looks absolutely amazing here today. So we have friends all and Druid Zoos now laying on different sides of the airport. I probably should just raid Two-Toe Murphy, probably. Once you guys get down landing, I'll wait till Murph gets on, and then we'll raid his channel. There it is, friends all. But since I don't have the F-16, he shows up as a Gigna, aka turn for an airliner, and Drew Zeus is in the Tomcat. Well, guys, that's gonna be it for today's stream. So, kind of a bit of something to keep an eye on for next week's stuff. So this upcoming Sunday, meet me at 1500 Zulu or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It would be leg 8 of the journey from Novosibirsk all the way down to Krasnoyarsk. And then for next Wednesday we'll take a flight into the beautiful territory of Australia in the new Fokker Model 7, F Model 7, and we'll make our way to Sydney. And then for my birthday, I got something special for my birthday coming, and I think you guys are gonna like it a lot, actually. So I think we're going to raid Two-Toe Murphy. We're just going to wait patiently for him to get on, and then we'll do the raid. So I'm hoping everything goes well for you guys. I know I had a great time today. Thank you everyone so much for showing up here. I really appreciate it here. I had an amazing flight with the jets. This was my first time flying jets on the channel. So, like I said, it's a new thing for me. I don't usually fly the jets, I usually fly the bush planes. So, this is kind of a new experience, but I had a lot of fun. So I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you all so much for this amazing time. So let's go ahead and get the raid the Two-Toe Murphy. Make sure you all stick around for the raid. I want to say thank you everyone so much. Now let's go ahead and get right into the stream. Viperstrike 95 out.